Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Hello. This is yet another Citalopram video, but this one's a little bit different. The reason I decided to make this, I wasn't even going to make this tonight, is because I was going through some of my old YouTube comments and I found one from 1 year ago on a video titled My Antidepressant Celexa, and then parentheses, Citalopram hydrobromide, which is what I take because I'm on antidepressants. Anybody that's watching this, that's watched my videos before, obviously probably knows that. Anyway, this one is from @VincentSchmidt392, and it's just a really long, unnecessary list of the known adverse effects, and this includes nervous system, very common, concentration impaired, common, somnolence, insomnia, dizziness, tremor, headache, nervousness, anxiety, paresthesia, decreased libido, agitation, drugged feeling, myoclonus, CNS stimulation, confusion, impaired concentration, depression, emotional liability, vertigo, abnormal dreams, including nightmares, hyper something, uncommon, bunch of other ones, abnormal things, thinking, alcohol abuse, amnesia, ataxia, convulsion, hallucinations, incoordination, lack of emotion, main reaction, paranoid reaction, then rare, abnormal, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, a really long, unnecessary list. You get the point. Anyway, this kind of made me think, why are they posting this? Is this just, they get on there and they post a list of things just as a fact? Obviously, this person is probably biased one way or the other. I don't know how they feel, so I can't attack them. But I can tell you that if those adverse health effects happen, it's because you're probably on the wrong medication. Moving along from there, I've made a list of the things that I have accomplished. In May, it'll be, at the end of May, it'll be for like 4 years since I've been on this, and I have done a lot of stuff. And reading this comment, it made me think about it, and I thought it was about time for another update. And I can say that probably the only potentially adverse thing that's happened to me with this medication is I give like way less amounts of shits about what other people actually think. So anyway, just playing off of this, here we go. My Celexa achievements. To start off, I got married, which is awesome, and I'm still married. Marriage is great if you're married to the right person, and I can guarantee you that everything's going wonderfully, and I love my wife. And that leads into the second one, is that we had a kid. He's almost 3. He's been in my videos before. He was in my last Celexa video. He's great. His name is Maverick Dean Compton. His first name is not from Top Gun. His first name is from my favorite Mel Gibson movie, Maverick, which was based off of a TV series prior. His middle name is also one of my favorite characters from a TV show, Dean Winchester from Supernatural. And then, of course, his last name, Compton. That's my name. He's a goober. He loves stuff, loves working on cars, just like me. And I love him to death. And I don't know if I could have handled it with my anxiety previously. Number 3, I got a management position when I was working at this place called North 40 in Ponderay, Idaho, because I live in North Idaho. And I had been wanting a management position for so long, and I just couldn't withstand the pressure beforehand. But after I got on Celexa, my drive just increased up and up and up, and it still keeps going up. I have days where I feel more normal, like I'm not really, feeling the drive, but ultimately, I have a vision in mind. I need to get wherever the fuck I want to go, right? And I'm gonna get there. I don't care what within moral reasoning, what I got to do to get there. I'm a hard worker. I will envelop myself in whatever I'm doing to get myself to my goal. Anyway, away from that, what happened was we ended up moving. We were in Spokane, and we moved back to our hometown in North Idaho. And I had applied for a management position at the grocery store we were working at in Spokane Valley. I didn't get it, and we were already kind of planning on moving back because we didn't want to raise a child in Spokane. So when I didn't get the position, we moved. That was like the deciding factor, was whether or not I got it. So we moved. I went and worked at North 40. I was there for a couple months, I think 4 months or less, and I got a management position. And I decided that retail management was not for me, and that dream that I had held on to since I was 16 was not what I wanted. So then I decided to change careers, and that is numero this many. And so what happened was I was done. I didn't want to do the management thing anymore, but I had always liked tinkering. I'd always liked working on my cars. So my wife convinced me to apply as a lube tech at a local dealership. So I did. And I got a call back almost immediately. And then I went for an interview and I got the job. And then I turned in my notice at North 40. And then after I did 3 weeks since I was in a leadership position, and it was a decent 3 weeks, but I couldn't wait to get out of there. So I went through the 3 weeks, and then I left and started that. And I started out with some shop supplied tools in a Harbor Freight roll cart. And number 5 and 6 kind of coincide together here because they both kind of go into one big thing. Oh, excuse me. Before I get into those, I should say that in this time, right before I made the decision to change careers, I had stopped drinking alcohol. If you went to the doctor and got prescribed Citalopram, Celexa, whatever, any antidepressant, they probably told you that you either can't drink or shouldn't drink. And the reason being is when you were on my specific one, Celexa, one drink affects you more than it would if you're off of it. And so it makes you feel drunker. And so I used to drink a lot, and I stopped drinking for a long time. Only recently have I had a few. I think in 2023 I had five drinks. In January, I had one at a friend's birthday party. He turned 50. I had one. I had one at a concert I went to. I went to see Ghost at the, what's that place? Northern Quest Casino in Airway Heights. I had one there. And I got my first certification in automotive industry in electrical diagnosis and repair. I had one after that to celebrate. I had one with my friend. And then I had one as a date with my wife. And then I had one on Thanksgiving. And that was my 5. And my next one is going to be at the end of February, because I'm going to a Beartooth concert, and I'm very excited. So that's going to be that one. But prior to those, I didn't drink for a while. And so that really helped a lot, additional to the medications. Well, not medications, I'm only on one. The medication that I'm taking to help with my anxiety. If you don't know, also another reason that you can't or shouldn't drink on antidepressants, it's that it will negate the effects of your antidepressants. So it will basically just like cancel it out. And then alcohol and other things like nicotine, using those too much, that can cause, same thing. So don't abuse it. Maybe every once in a while you can have a drink, but don't abuse it, or else you're just totally negating the side effects. So keep that in mind. Anyway, I started at this job. Sorry for the little rabbit hole thingy. I started at this job, and I quickly began making more money. They hired me at more I was making than a manager at a I shouldn't say manager, maybe. I was technically a department head, and anywhere else they would have called it a department manager. But you had your store manager and you had your assistant store managers. There's two of them. And then below that, they have what they called leads. And I was a department lead. So, I made the decisions. But then you had, the three managers above me or whatever. So I was there. I was making a certain amount of money. And they started me 50 cents more an hour more than that. Within 60 days, I was making $1.50 more than that. And now, less than 3 years in, I'm making a lot more than that. I have had 7 raises in less than 3 years. 7 raises. And what I'm making now, my last one was about 7 months ago. And we're due for reviews soon. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, 7 raises. Okay, that's good. I'm on track for making my goals financially. Okay, now the downside of this job that I have is that I have to buy a lot of tools myself. So a big portion of my check goes to that. However, I'm at the point now financially that I don't need to use credit to buy my tools. I can pay for the ones I need outright almost always. And what I do finance is like my toolboxes and anything very large and very expensive. Otherwise, if it's under $1,000, I'm probably paying cash either on the tool truck right away or over a few weeks, because they'll do payments with no interest just on the tool truck. So I'm making progress there. I'm making enough that I can just pay outright rather than finance, unless it's, again, a big purchase like a toolbox. Speaking of toolboxes and owning lots of tools and stuff, I started with a shop supplied, as I started saying before, Harbor Freight roll cart, a 4-drawer Harbor Freight roll cart. It was blue. And I had just your basic things. I had some oil filter sockets, some oil filter wrenches, and just a little Pittsburgh Harbor Freight socket set. Now, I have much, much more than that. And my progression goes from that to buying my own first roll cart. I bought a 7-drawer Mac Tools, orange with black trim roll cart with a flip top. It was $2,000. And I started filling that sucker up. And I bought lots of tools. And then I was just about full. And then the Mac Tools dealer we had at the time, he went out of business. So I didn't want that roll cart anymore. So I traded that in to Snap-on to get my first toolbox. And our Snap-on dealer is really great with his prices on toolboxes because he buys a bunch of them at tool shows and passes the savings on to us, which our current Mac Tools dealer can't do. And I love my current Mac Tools dealer, but I won't buy a box from him because he just can't provide the deals currently at this time. But I love that Snap-on toolbox I got. I got a Master Series. I got a KMP 1022. It was Arctic Silver with red trim. And I had that one for a decent amount of time. And while I was doing that, I still had the shop roll cart going around for when I needed to run around the shop. So what I did after that was I bought my own roll cart. I got a KSC 323, something like that. It's like a 3-drawer Snap-on roll cart. I have a black one with silver trim. I got a really good deal on it. I got it for $1,000 used. What happened is somebody bought it and then they didn't use it because it was the wrong one. And then they traded it back in and after like a week. So it didn't really see any use. There was still stuff in the plastic. No dents or dings. There are dents and dings in it now, unfortunately. So I got a couple $100 off on basically a brand new cart. And I like that cart a lot. It's what I was looking for. The only thing I would want more is if instead of a flip top, it was a slide top. That'd be perfect. So I got that cart. Now I have a toolbox and a roll cart. But wait, my roll cart's, got my everyday stuff. And now my 54-inch Master Series toolbox is getting kind of full. And I'm looking into expansion, and it's just not the best for that specific toolbox. So what I do then is a couple weeks ago, I trade that box in for, let's see, I got more than what I paid for it after trade-in of my roll cart, which I had paid off. And so at this point, I trade this toolbox in, my Master Series, my KMP 1022. I trade it into the Snap-on dealer, and I get a 68-inch Epic toolbox, which, if you don't know, is their top-of-the-line toolboxes. I got it for $8,000, and online, if you go to Snap-on's website, the retail price is just over $16,000. And now I've got 14 inches more room lengthwise, and it's a little bit taller and it's a little bit deeper. And as far as expansion goes, I can bolt onto that thing as long as I want to. I can make it as tall or as long as I want to. I can bolt up other toolboxes. All the attachments have casters on it, unlike the Master Series, so I hear. And so it's a great investment. So I can take this toolbox and I can build onto it. It will be expensive, but I can build it as much as I want forever. So in just the last 4 years, almost, not even 4 years yet, I went from being a depressed sad boy to somebody who's accomplishing things, somebody who has goals. I want to become a shop foreman one day. I want that. I don't want to be behind a desk doing paperwork management all the time, but I would love to pass my knowledge along to other people, the younger generation. I like to teach. It's something I've always liked to do. In high school, I taught half of a class, actually. We had a music history / guitar class, and I taught the guitar portion. And then the part of my thing that I did for the class, for my class credit anyway, was I would write my lesson plan and hand it to the teacher, and she would grade it. So I've always liked teaching people. I like having a kid because I get to teach him things, and I like seeing him learn things and grow up. And I would like to transfer this into my professional life. I've trained lots of people in my previous professions, and I would like to continue to pass along information and skills that I've learned to the people who have the drive and are willing to accept it, and some helpful criticism. And I want to build other people up and take them upwards with me. And that is my goal. I would like to reach the top there, where I still get to do work and train people. I want to do the work that I like to do, working on cars, and train people to do the same thing and see them grow and be proud of them. That's what I want. And I am on my way. And that is where I am going. So, I don't know, circling back around to the beginning, I do not know what that person meant, what their emotions and thoughts were behind that comment of all the positive and negative side effects. But I can tell you that my experience is only positive. I am more focused than ever on my goals. I have more drive than I ever had before. I am more accepting. I guess I'm a little bit more critical, but in a good way. I don't take bad things that happen to me and dwell on them. I say, I can't change anything, let's move on and learn from it, which is the right attitude. What are you gonna do to something that's already happened? You can't do anything. You can't change the past. Move on, learn from it, don't screw up again. That's what you do. I've learned a lot, and I can thank not just my wife. I mean, she's a huge, huge part. But I can also thank my friends, my family, my medication. And if it wasn't for my medication, I probably wouldn't have listened to everybody that pushed me to go on. I would have said, that's too scary. I'm going to stay somewhere where I'm failing but comfortable. So, I don't know what they meant. But, as I've said before, don't be afraid to get on medication that a doctor prescribes. If it doesn't work out, go back. They'll figure something out. You just gotta put your trust in yourself and the doctor. Don't be afraid. You just gotta do it. If it's the only avenue left you've had, you gotta do it. Don't be afraid to do it. As Shia LaBeouf said, Just do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Anyway, I've rambled on for 20 minutes now, and I have a feeling that not a lot of people are going to watch this, because my analytics say that most people click away after about 2 minutes. So, if you have watched this far, and are thinking of or have got on Citalopram or any other antidepressant, no, you're not alone in your struggles, and that it's okay to get yourself out of your comfort zone and do the things that are hard for you to do, and eventually they won't be so hard anymore. So, and then you'll have even more things to conquer. That's what you do. You conquer. So go out and help yourself and conquer the world and your dreams. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.